Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. How is everyone doing today on this beautiful Wednesday, hump day as they call it? How is everyone doing? Once again, this is Gregory Walls coming live to you from Houston, Texas with this inspirational morning walk. This is inspirational morning walk. Well, again, you're gonna see me sitting in my van. I can take a pause from the walking and I'm going to get through this just like the last time. I just have a couple pages to flip through, and it's a little easier for me when I'm stationary. It's not as easy when I'm walking, and when I got more than like 2 pages, I have to be shaking the camera a lot. But I'm gonna be sitting here, and then after I'm finished, I can get back to my walking because I want to make sure this topic that we're on, and for the first time listeners, if it's the first time you're listening to this, we're talking about generational curses. And then we went and explained what a covenant is in the last talk on Monday. And now today, we dealt with the Abrahamic covenant, how God made the covenant with Abraham and how it went down all in his generations, till even down to 500 years after, and we still standing on the covenant today, right? So today, and I said, no, it is on the flip side. The enemy is just like if you got a covenant with the enemy, it's the same way he has access to your family, and that's how generational curses come. And the enemy most times is going to use trickery to trick you, to get you to sign these covenants and get you to make these agreements, but it is still legal even if it's done by trickery, even if they trick you into doing it. And that's one of the covenants I'm going to deal with today. It's a covenant that was made by trickery. The Israelites was tricked. Good morning, Tessa. Good morning. That's what I'm dealing with today. The Israelites was tricked into making a covenant, but however, even though they were tricked, it was still legal, it was still binding, and they still had to obey that covenant that they made, even though when they found out they was tricked into making it. It doesn't matter if you was tricked. Once you sign off on it, you make an agreement. It's there until somebody change it, right? So we can get right into it today. We can get right into it. And the other folks who didn't get to catch me from the beginning, please, the YouTube channel is there. You could go back and you can get all the information you need from there. I think so far, I think what my little niece was telling me that, hey, I have 95 of these videos on there. I don't know when we did 95, but yes, we were doing this. I was doing this since the just a little into the whole shutdown, little after March time. I'm not sure if it's April or what, but I just doing what I was asked to do, and posting it up there, and I think it amounts to about 90 something right now. So you could go back on the YouTube and search for Gregory Wiles on there. I usually try to forward the link now, so it's easy for people to jump right into there, subscribe, and see all the stuff that we do, right? But I can jump right into it today. So today, I want to do, like I said, I'm going to deal with the covenant that was made by trickery and show you how serious God take covenants, and why these generational curses can come down in our life, introduced into our bloodline, and stay there until we recognize it and we break it, right? So let's deal with Joshua 9, 3. This is Joshua 9, it's the whole of Joshua 9, but I'm going to chop it up. I can't read the whole thing for the sake of time, but I want you in your spare time to go through Joshua 9 and get the full gist of this whole story. I'm going to jump from certain verses and give you the highlight and give you the whole synopsis of it, but I'm going to read a chunk of it and read about half of it, right? So first of all, this is when Moses was sent, when God told Moses, okay, we send these people into the promised land, Joshua gonna lead them in there. He gave them instructions. He said to kill everything when you get in there. Kill man, woman, child, the dog, the cat, the chicken. You kill everything, because they're all wicked people in there, and you want to kill them out. You don't want to get no mixing up with them, because they're gonna take you away from your God. So kill them when you get there, right? So the people of Gibeon heard about what Joshua did. This is this is 3. This is Joshua. I can start from like with 3 to 6, and then I can read from 14 to 18, and I can chop it up, but you can get most of the gist of it, and you could go and read the whole thing, right? So I'm start from 3, Joshua 9:3. So the people of Gibeon heard about what Joshua had done to Jericho and Ai. Joshua had just defeated, you remember the walls of Jericho out of fall when they had to go around it 7 times. So they know that Joshua coming with the backing of their God, and he's so powerful and they can't touch him. They're no match for the Israelites because they know they coming fully backed by their God, which is supernatural. They walk around Jericho 7 times, blow a trumpet, and the whole thing fall. They say, no, we cannot match up with these people. So when the people of Gibeon heard what Joshua had done to Jericho and Ai was a little smaller city. So they decided to trick the Israelites. You understand what I'm telling you? It's a trick. They decided to trick the Israelites. They packed supplies as if they were going on a long trip. So they're setting up the trickery here. They packed supplies as if they were going on a long trip. They loaded their donkeys with old sacks and old wineskins. The wineskins were cracked, but they had been mended. They put on worn sandals on their feet. The sandals have been patched. They also wore old clothes. All the bread they took along was dry and molded. They went to Joshua in the camp of Gilgal. They spoke to the Israelites. They spoke to him and the Israelites. They said, "We come from a far country, far away. Make a peace treaty with us," right? So in a nutshell, they were living right close to the Israelites, and that's the people that God said to kill. So they put on these old things, look like they was traveling for months or years, and they come from so far. And if you read on in between there that I'm not going to read and just summarize it, they're saying, okay, we heard all the good things what your God are doing, and we want to serve your God, so make a peace treaty with us so we can, serve your God, because we heard so much of good things about him, and look how all the stuff is old and molded. When we left our houses, the bread was nice and fresh. Now it's old and moldy. This is just proof to show how far we come from, which is a lie, right? You just see they said they pack all these old stuff and put on these old clothes. When we left our land, our clothes was nice and clean and new, and now look how it's old and raggedy. Our shoes are worn out. All these lies, right? You get the picture. You can read it and get the full gist of all the lies, how to set it up, right? But I can jump to 7 quickly. So the Israelites said to the Hivites, "But suppose you live close." Now, they're suspecting this could be a trick, right? The sense of discernment is coming on. They said, "But suppose you live close. If you do, we can't make a peace treaty with you." Joshua them saying, "Bro, if you live close to us and you're one of the people that God said to kill, I can't be making no peace treaty with you, bro. God, that's going against what God advised me to do. I cannot be making no peace treaty if you're trying to trick me and you live close to me," right? But here what the people said. The people said, "No, we will serve you," they said to Joshua. They're saying, in other words, if we are lying to you, Joshua, we will serve you. We will serve you. We'll do whatever you want us to do. We will serve you. If you found out that we are lying, right? So this is their part of the agreement they make here. If we are lying, if you found out that we are lying, we will serve you. Why you take note of that, right? So I can jump straight down to 14 now. The Israelites look over the supplies those people had brought. But you see, they look over the supplies. Say, yeah, the supplies look old. Look like y'all was traveling for a long time. Look, all this molded bread, your clothes worn out. Yeah, we could believe that y'all come from a far away and you're not trying to trick us. But here it went on and said, but they didn't ask the Lord what they should do. Right? The mistake, Joshua did not. He dropped his sense of discernment. He just believed what somebody tell him and did not take it to the Lord and say, "God, I don't know for sure, but are these people tricking us or not? Should we make a treaty with them? Is this some of the people you said not to make a treaty with?" And then God would have tell him, no, don't make a treaty with them. But he dropped his sense of discernment. And that's what we do a lot of times. We know what we're supposed to be doing, and we let someone else talk us out of it or trick us, right? And Joshua made that mistake. So he did not take it to the Lord. So Joshua made a peace treaty with the people who had come. He made a peace treaty with them. He agreed to let them live. The leaders of the community give their word that they agree with the treaty. So the leaders of the community say, "Okay, Joshua, you want to make this treaty? We can sign off on it." And they did sign off on it in the Lord's name. So the treaty is final. It's done. It's a deal these people got. You cannot kill us now. You cannot kill us. So let's go on to 16. So the Israelites made a peace treaty with the people of Gibeon. But 3 days later, they heard that the people of Gibeon live close to them. Gibeon live close to them. So Joshua found out, no, this is a lie. He found out that these people lied to him. So he mad now. He mad. So the Israelites started out to go to the cities of those people. On the 3rd day, they came up to Gibeon, and they came up to these other 3 cities where these people was from. But they didn't attack those cities. That's because the leaders of the community had given their word and made a peace treaty with them. They had given their word in the name of the Lord, of the God of Israel. So the leaders of the community say, hey, Joshua, slow down. I know you're mad. I know you was tricked. You didn't take this to God, so we make a covenant with these people and swear it in the name of God. So you cannot kill them now. You cannot touch them. You promised them you will let them live. So you have to let them live, because if you're going to break this covenant, it's going to be problems. It's going to be some problems. You should do your due diligence and ask God if I should do this, but you jump ahead and do it, so now you're stuck with it. You got to honor this covenant, right? So let's jump to 22. So Joshua sent for the people of Gibeon. He said to them, why did you trick us? You said we live far away from you, but in fact you live close to us. So Joshua asked him, why you decide to trick me, man? Why you decide to trick me? And he said, so now you are under a curse. You will always serve us. See, Joshua had the right to make them serve Israel because they agreed to that as part of the deal. Remember in verse 8, they said, we'll serve you, Joshua. If you found out this is a lie, we will serve you. So Joshua had the right to say, no, you're under curse. You put yourself under your own curse. Because you tell me if I found out it's a lie, you will have to serve us. Right? So you will always cut wood and carry water for the house of God. So Joshua said, okay, y'all trick me. Okay, I can make y'all our servants now. You're gonna serve all the Israelites for the rest of your life, right? So they answered Joshua. So the answer in Joshua, when Joshua asked them, why did you trick us? So this is the answer now in verse 24. They answered Joshua, we were clearly told what the Lord your God had commanded his servant Moses. So they're saying, we are aware of what God told Moses. He commanded him to give you the whole land. So they know what God had told Moses, give you the whole land. He also ordered him to wipe all its people to make room for you. So they are aware that God told them they must kill all of them. So they're aware of that. So we were afraid you would kill us. That's why we trick you. We are now under your control. Do to us what you think is good and right. So they're saying, look, bro, we know what your God give orders to Moses and to tell you to do when you come here to kill all of us. So we're afraid for our lives. We know we were next on your list to kill. So we want to trick you to save our own lives. We don't care if we are under your control and we got to serve you, but at least we still have life, right? So Joshua saved the people of Gibeon. He didn't let the Israelites kill them. That day he made them cut wood and carry water. They had to serve the community of Israel. They also had to do work connected with the altar of the Lord. The altar would be at the place the Lord would choose, and they still serve the Israelites to this day. Raul Pollard, thank you for watching, man. Thank you for watching, right? So they still had to serve the Israelites until this day, right? So now I want to show you that covenant was made. Joshua made a covenant. He was tricked into it, but he had to honor it. Well, let's fast forward 400 years, approximately 400 years, and see how this covenant is still in effect and affected Israel. Let's fast forward about approximately 400 years. This is in the reign now of King David. King David, right? This is 2 Samuel 21, 1 through 9. I'm going to read about 1 through 9, right? There was a famine during David's reign that lasted for 3 years. So David asked the Lord about it. David said, hey, man, God, I know I'm doing everything right. I'm a man after you. This famine going on a little too long. You know, there's seasons. You know, your life is seasonal. To talk about all the seasons. There's a season for die, a season to born, a season to, you know, you got all the seasons. David said, I understand seasons, God, but this season going on a little too long. What's up with this? What's going on? See, David understand. David has this spiritual knowledge. So you know, okay, I go into God and find out what's going on, right? So this famine lasted Let me go back. There was a famine during David's reign that lasted for 3 years. So David asked the Lord about it, and the Lord said, the famine has come because Saul and his family are guilty of murdering the Gibeonites, right? This 400 years we're talking about here after this thing was made. Saul, remember Saul was the first king of Israel, and he and his family, you could go back, I was trying to look it up, you could go back and see when Saul had killed the Gibeonites, he's telling himself he avenging the Israelites, and he tell himself, oh, this treaty, he was just like us. And some people who thinking, oh, what happened 200 years, what my great-great-grandparents do or something, can't affect me, that's done, old and gone. And he was under the same impression, look, I can kill them right now. That's so long the treaty was made, the treaty was probably worn out, the covenant was done. So Saul go and murder the Gibeonites, right? So God tell David, this famine come because Saul gonna break the covenant and he gonna kill the people when Joshua swore that he would not kill them. So in verse 2 said, so the kings among the Gibeonites, they were not part of Israel, but were all that was left of the nation of the Amorites. The people of Israel had sworn not to kill them, but Saul, in his zeal for Israel and Judah, had tried to wipe them out. David asked them, what can I do for you? How can I make amends so that you will bless the Lord's people again? Look at what I'm telling you guys. These are the people that God said to kill. Kill them, right? But Joshua went to make a treaty. He got tricked into making a treaty to save their lives. But God said, okay, you got your free will. You make your treaty. Now you got to honor it. You got to honor it. You got to make sure these people don't dead. You say you're not going to kill the Gibeonites. Saul went and killed them. Saul's a part of the house of Israel. He went and killed them. So a whole curse come on the whole of Israel because Saul broke that covenant. They in a famine. They're struggling. And they had nothing to do with it. This is 400 years ago. But yet still, this curse come on the house of Israel that King David got to deal with. And he had to go to the very people who God said to kill and ask for their mercy now. You hear what he said? How can I make this right to you guys? How can we make this right? How can we make amends so that you will bless the Lord's people again? Now the power is in these people's hands that God said to kill. The king of Israel got to go down to these people who was serving them, who to make the slaves because they tricked them, and asking them, how could we make this right, bro? How could we make this right so you will bless my people again? So we could come out under this curse. What can we do? How can we settle this? So hear what the people said. The people said, well, money can't settle this matter between us. They said, no, we don't need your money. We don't need your money, King David. This is personal now. We don't need your money. Money's not going to settle this. The Gibeonites replied, neither can we demand the life of any of Israel. They're saying, well, the Israelites had hold up this treaty for this 400 years. They did not break it. So then David said, what can we do then? David asked, just tell me and I will do it for you. The king got to making a deal with these people who was their slaves because a covenant was broken. Then they replied, it was Saul who planned to destroy us. The people saying, no, I ain't going to punish the whole of Israel for this. This is one man I want revenge on, is King Saul. Okay, he was the one who would plan to destroy us. So I want my revenge on Saul and his family. I don't want it on the whole of Israel. I don't want your money. Saul is the one I need revenge on because he's the one who decided to do this, right? So they said, it is Saul who planned to destroy us. So to keep us from having any, they said, let me go back. Then they replied, it was Saul who planned to destroy us, to keep us from having any place at all in this territory of Israel. So let 7 of Saul's sons be handed over to us, and we will execute them before the Lord at Gibeon on the mountain of the Lord. So the people saying, look, since Saul killed our people, we want an eye for an eye. We want kill people from Saul's family now. And that's when we're going to make amends. That's what we need to do to make this right. So this curse could come off of Israel. You see what I'm saying? How serious a covenant is? And that's what God tell David. This is why the curse is on you, bro. That's why when I'm trying to tell you, when you're going to God and asking him to help in certain areas, he's saying, I want to help you. But you got a covenant already saying that the enemy got on this part of your life. You sign a deal for poverty. You sign a deal for a particular sickness. You sign a deal saying you can't go past a certain stage in life. I make you to advance, but because you got that covenant, somebody made that agreement 400 years ago, I cannot get involved in the covenant until you break it. So that's what the king had to go down to these people and ask, how can we make this right? What do I need to do so we can fix this covenant, right? And there's the people who God said to kill. Now they got the upper hand because of a covenant, right? So the people say, I want 7 of David's, 7 of Saul's sons so we can kill them. And that's what we want, our revenge. We want to kill people from his house because he killed people from our house. And then, all right, the king said. So David said, all right, I will do it. So David had to agree to hand over to them 7 of Saul's sons, people from Saul's household, for them people to kill so the curse could come off of Israel. A covenant that was made about 400 years ago. So the king spared Jonathan's son, and then he go on. You can read the rest. I ain't going to read it. You get the picture. He handed over these 7 people to these Gibeonites. They killed them. And then the curse came off of Israel because he tried to make right with the covenant, right? So that's what I'm saying, guys. I'm saying this. Sharon Wong, how you doing? Long time I haven't heard from you or see you. So this is what I'm saying, how serious these covenants are. David didn't know nothing about this covenant, but he went to David as a man who got spiritual knowledge. So he's saying, look, I'm doing everything right. I know it's not me, but it's something I do not know. Let me go and ask God what's going on here. What causing this? And then he found out what happened, and he had to deal with it by handing over 7 people to be killed so the curse could come off Israel. So I'm trying to tell you guys, these covenants are serious. And when they get into our bloodline, even though you don't know nothing about it, just like in the case of David, and it could happen hundreds of years ago, it's still in your bloodline. That's why we still accepting it, and we thinking is that it's a part of our portion because this happening years ago in our family, and this is just what happened in our family bloodline. This is just what go on. Oh, my family got a history of this. We got a history. There's nothing I could do. Yes, you can. I can keep repeating this till you guys get it. You can break it, just like how David go and amend this here. You can amend it. You can stop the curse from your family line, where you can take fasting and praying. And you remember, if this curse in your family line for 100 years, 50, 100, 200, we don't know how long, maybe you causing doing things right now to bring curses on your future generation, we got to go. We got to ask for forgiveness. We can have a deal how we can break it, but to give you a little idea, you got to ask for forgiveness for your ancestors. You got to ask for forgiveness for yourself, and then you go through the process, what we can deal with on the next session, right? So you got stuff like delay and setback, some other stuff, delay and setback. You were the last one always to get a promotion, last one to get an advance. You've seen people moving forward, but like you just can't go forward. Near success, something about big to happen to you, and last minute it falls through. Last minute, every time, okay, I get this deal, I'm getting this job, I'm getting this breakthrough, and all of a sudden, last minute it falls through. This near success syndrome. Some family males, all the males going to prison or they're dying out, or all these kinds of things, man. Look in your family and see these negative patterns and then identify them, because you can go into the new year with a plan now. My goal is to give you a lot of information before the new year so you can set proper New Year's resolution, break some of these things, and set your New Year's resolution where God could actually help you now to achieve this stuff. But once these curses is there, He can't do nothing about it until you deal with the root cause of the stuff. You deal with the root of it. It's like you got a toothache. The cavity is what causing the pain, but every time you go, you're getting painkillers. Every time the pain come on, you take some painkillers, it die down for a couple of days, and then it come right back up. Not until you deal with that cavity, whether the doctor clean it out, give you a root canal, or he extract it, you can always have that pain. You're going to take in painkillers to get you a little relief, but the source of the problem is still remain, and it's going to affect you and continue to affect you. You can take some painkillers, get a little relief for a couple of days, boom, and the pain come right back. Not until you deal with the root, you're going to always dealing with the problem, right? So guys, I'm trying to take my time to give you this information. to make sense to you guys. So hope this makes sense to you, and know we can go into some different spoken courses on Friday, because courses could come when you can speak things, and that's how you can introduce a curse in the family. I can deal with a couple of people where curses were spoken, where the parents speak things into the life and it's affect them. All right, guys, have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys again on Friday. Goodbye.